name is Matthew Doherty, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about raising the flag on Iwo Jima, which was a picture photographed by Joe Rosenthal during World War II at the Battle of Iwo Jima. 50 to 80 million people died during World War II. World War II affected so many people because it involved so many countries from around the world, and so many people fought in it. There were many monumental moments that came out of World War II, and this was one of them. Raising the flag at Iwo Jima was a moment that I want to educate you a little bit about today. Without Joe Rosenthal capturing this moment, we would not be able to see the patriotic moment that happened that day. First, I want to give you a little historical background during World War II. World War II was a global war that occurred from 1939 to 1945. The vast majority of nations around the world participated in it, and there were two sides that were formed, the Allied side and the Axis side. It began when Germany invaded Poland in 1939 and ended when they signed the peace treaty of 1945. There are estimated of 15 million casualties that occurred during World War II, and this is on the lower side of the estimations. The main cause of these casualties were from 1, the Holocaust, and 2, strategic bombings of heavy populated areas such as Nagasaki and Japan. Many countries' political structures were altered during the war, and their social structures were also altered, and this is from historynet.com. After World War II, the United Nations was created in order to promote world peace and to prevent further conflicts such as World War I and World War II. At the time, there were only a few nations that joined the United Nations, and these were the United Kingdom, France, the United States, China, and the Soviet Union. Today, there are many nations that are involved with it and support its goals. Within World War II, the Battle of Iwo Jima is where the photo actually happened. The Battle of Iwo Jima was a land assault, and the goal of it was to capture the island from the Japanese Imperial Army. It was named Operation Detachment, and its goal was to capture the airstrips that were held by Japan. This would then give us a staging area in order to launch aerial assaults on the main islands of Japan. This is from the World War II database online. The assault was a 5-week-long assault, and it is considered one of the bloodiest and most intense battles in the Pacific. The Japanese were heavily fortified and bunkered on the island, which created the assault ever more difficult. Although this was true, the U.S. had the advantage because of their extensive naval fleet and aerial assaults on the bunkers. During the battle, the moment the flag was raised was an inspirational and incredible moment. The U.S. flag was raised on Mount Suribachi at 10:20 on February 23, 1945. Lieutenant Colonel Chandler Johnson ordered Captain David Severance to capture the mountain. Lieutenant Colonel Johnson took the flag from the USS Missoula, which was a ship right off the coast. He handed it to Schreier and ordered him to post it when they captured the mountain. Schreier took the flag as well as a platoon up the mountain and fought until they reached the top. Once they reached the top, they posted the flag on a Japanese water pipe in the rubble and debris. After the flag was posted, it could be seen from miles, and all the United States men on the ground were able to see it. This prompted them to yell and scream and support the men at the top through this, and although this was a morale booster, it actually ended up being a negative effect to the men at the top because it directed Japanese fire at them. Although this occurred, they were able to fight their way off the mountain and successfully capture the island for the United States. This photo will forever live in United States war history because of this. Joe Rosenthal captured this moment, this inspirational and patriotic moment. He won the 1945 Pulitzer Prize for photography because of this. This photograph was reproduced numerous times for many reasons and is seen all over the world. One of the main reasons it was reproduced was for the war bond drive, which was to raise money for the war effort. It was reproduced 3.5 million times as posters as advertisement for this. This photograph was also a memorial for the United States also an inspiration for the United States Marine Memorial, which is in Arlington, Virginia, and is dedicated to all the Marines that have fallen and have served since 1775. The actual flag that was posted on the flagpole is preserved in the National Marine Memorial Museum, and this is from the National Marine Corps Association. Here is Joe Rosenthal in both when he took the photo and older. It is evident that this moment in U.S. history will live on forever. So in conclusion, the Battle of Iwo Jima was in a very important battle and affected the outcome of the war. The photo was an inspiration and morale booster for both the Allies and the United States and all over the world. The raising the flag at the Battle of Iwo Jima is a legacy that will live on forever. Thank you for your time, and I will now take any questions.
Was there any controversy over who actually raised the flag?
Well, there was some controversy over who actually raised the flag, and the reason for this was because none of the faces are actually seen in the photograph, so being able to identify who actually raised the flag was tough through the chaos of the war and everything like that. So there was controversy, but they were able to narrow down exactly who raised it and who each men were. So.
Why did it matter to them to make such an effort to post the flag?
Well, it wasn't necessarily about posting the flag, but it was more so about taking the mountain. The mountain was a crucial aspect in taking the entire island because it was a high point where the Japanese were shooting off of. And the flag was more so just like a morale booster for the rest of the army, and just showed victory, basically. The flag showed victory that the United States took the island. Thank you very much.